Welcome back.
I thought I was going to do it.
Okay, no, it's you.
All right. Welcome back to Two Large Men with Two Small Brains. This is Knuckle Deep with me, August, and my best friend, Braden. Today we're going to talk about lots of fun, interesting topics about our jobs at, well, we'll go with calling it M-Town Grocery. That's not what it's called. Don't go Googling M-Town Grocery and then sending malicious hate mail to this poor grocery store that isn't the one that we work at. You know, that would be not good. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some of the customers that we have at the M-Town Grocery. You know, we have obviously a bunch of great stories from that, working there together for so long. We're going to talk about some of our worst restaurant experiences, fast food and otherwise. And then at the end, we're going to have a little tier segment where we scream at each other about chips and which ones are the best.
It's that easy.
It's that easy.
All you got to do right now is relax, open your ears, and let us ruin your brain.
Let it melt.
Yeah. So, I do have a story just that happened this morning, just before we dive into the episode. So I live in a dorm that's community style. So the whole floor shares 4 showers. The whole floor shares 3 toilets, which seems shocking because there's a lot of people on our floor. But it's the truth. It's the sad and horrible, bad truth. So the semester hasn't exactly started. It's supposed to start this next week. So it's a weekend. People are moving in. And I'm going to go shower. All right. And when I go shower, I usually just wear like some kind of pants. I throw a towel over my shoulder and I bring my shower thingy. And I'm walking out and there are 3 sets of parents at the end of the hall. And I walk out of my room and they just make eye contact of me just standing there shirtless. And I just look at them and they look at me. And one of the moms just goes, "I'm so sorry."
Hey, at least she understood what she was doing wrong, you know, for just being there.
That's not it though. Because
no.
I shower up and then this guy walks in while I'm showering and he goes into a different shower and he starts playing opera music. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, he's playing like it's in Italian. It is like aggressive and he's singing too.
Oh God.
And so I just showered. I finished up as quickly as possible because I couldn't take it. And these are the privileges that you don't have when living in a community style dorm. Like when we were at home on break, showering comfortably was such a privilege. And now I shower with strangers.
I actually conveniently also have a shower story from this morning. It's not really a story. It's more of just information about my terrible living quarters. So we have, I think it's 1 to maybe 7 showers, a lot more than 4. That seems like a really small number for an entire floor.
It is.
But there's one shower that I like to use every time, and I think that's probably the case for lots of college students.
Yes.
There's always one that you want to have.
It's not the best one either. It's just the one I'm most comfortable with.
Yeah. And today there was a guy in it, which is fine. I'm not a little turd. I'm not going to freak out about not getting my shower. But the last time I used the shower that I used today, which isn't the one that I like, the water didn't drain. And and it didn't drain again today, and I was very unhappy. But the way the showers are set up here, it's obviously it's like a single person shower. It's just for one person, obviously. But the bottom where the drain is, it's the drain. It's kind of like every part is sloped, so the water just goes down to the middle. And then there's about a 2 or 3 inch wall on the outside, so the water doesn't just leak out. It almost filled up, and I almost leaked out onto the bathroom floor. My water almost leaked out onto the bathroom floor.
That's
and it would have been really
gross.
bad. And it was really disgusting.
See, the way our showers too, sorry. They don't really slope down into the drain. So if someone's showering in the shower directly next to you, their water comes over into your shower. So like I was taking a hot shower one time and the guy next to me was taking a cold shower. And so my feet were cold while my body was hot. And I was just,
What the heck?
that is not okay. There should be a system
It should
where
be a
that doesn't
system.
happen
I
ever,
agree.
ever.
I think one time at EMC, which is the music camp for the college I go to, um, uh, we live in the dorms on campus, but we're high schoolers and like eighth graders and stuff. And I'm like 100% sure that I've got someone else's urine on my foot in the shower
God.
because it's like you said there. Well, there's
Did
the
you
wall of
taste it?
showers on my foot. Did I taste it on my? Yeah, my toes were licking that stuff up.
Okay.
They were loving it.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
But you walk in and there's a wall of showers, and all of them are that have they share the same floor, like you said, and but there's two separate ones that are just by themselves, which is obviously the ones that I wish I could use every time, and I have used them every time actually. But I digress. So that's my shower story.
So, like we said earlier, we wanted to talk about our work experiences. Like I said, we both worked at the same grocery store. We've had some pretty horrific and wonderful times there. I think really our friendship grew a lot there because we
A
worked
hundred
a lot
percent.
together. Um, but I do have the story. I was like a cashier checker there, and there was this lady that came in and she struggled to walk. Like, and she struggled, I think, to clean herself too. And I'm not trying to be mean, but like, seriously, hygiene is so important. And when you go in public and you smell from like a 6 foot radius, it is
Go home. You're not allowed to be in public anymore.
no, it is a problem.
You lose your public privileges.
But
Privileges.
there was this lady. So it was around closing time. And so one of the nightly duties was you clean bathrooms. So I go into the men's bathroom, clean that up, make sure it's, shining. And then the doors, both of the doors lock. And I always knock before I go in. Even if I know someone's not in there, there's always a possibility.
Right.
So I go over to the women's and I knock and I hear nothing. And then whoever I was working with, they said something to me. So I was turning to them and I was responding to what they were saying to me. And I opened the door behind me without even looking. And then I turn around and there is this woman on all fours with her rear end up against the toilet. And it's the same woman. And she's looking at me like if you've ever been to the zoo and you've been to like an ape exhibit and there's like the huge mama one ready to pounce in the corner. She's looking at me like that. She doesn't say anything. We just make eye contact and I go, "I'm so sorry." And then I close the door. Within 10 seconds, she left the bathroom. She went from all fours, ready to pounce, to shopping.
I've heard this story before, but I don't think I've ever asked. Were her pants down?
I don't know. All
You
I
don't
remember
remember?
is her face and her fist on the ground.
Her fist on the ground. And thus the silverback was born, huh?
Right. So um, we don't know her name, and she was not a pleasant lady, but she was so mean. And like, she would walk around and she'd have a cart, and like, she would spend the minimum of an hour and a half in the store. There's nothing else that she did every day. I think she just went there, got 12 things, but walked around the entire store.
4 times.
Right. And like I said, she struggles to walk. So this is not a fast-paced situation. So there were times when we were wanting to close at night. It's past closing time, and she's somewhere rummaging through the shelves. And I was not going to confront her because I'm the guy that walked in on her in the bathroom.
Right. You can't show your face to her again.
No. And like somehow I went when we went back for like 2 months over break and we went back to work, I didn't see her. Like I didn't see her once. It's like she knows that I'm back.
She knows. She can sense your presence in M Town.
But it is. I am grateful that I haven't seen her again because it saves me some really
Awkward interactions for
right.
sure. But yeah, that birthed what we like to call at M Town Grocery, and as I said before, the silverback, which is as I'm sure you know, not a grocery store shopper, but in fact a type of gorilla. And if you work at a grocery store, you completely know what a silverback is. They
Mhm.
are large and
They are cart
always in
leaners.
charge.
They are
Always in
mean.
charge.
They've never said please or thank you.
And they think that they have to have everything that they want. And
Yeah.
they lean on the carts that they push
Uh,
because they can't stand up. But the customer's always right, and be happy you have a job because sometimes you
mhm,
can't have one.
mhm.
And that's the worst when you can't have a job.
Like I said, I worked there for a while, and it's definitely. I'm grateful to work there. It's not like I hate working there. It's just
Right.
it's
Of
the
course.
customers that really get under your skin after
Yeah.
working a long week and stuff. Like it's, but
Yeah.
definitely when I was like, what the hell is going on today? Because I opened that door and she looked into my soul and said nothing. And
Face down, ass up, ready to pounce.
I
Because
I felt like like I ruined her day and my day at
your
the same
your
exact
year was ruined.
moment. And it was
It was
shocking.
an interesting. It was an interesting. Well, I obviously wasn't there. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. I should just say that I wasn't there for that story. And I was rolling on the floor the first time I heard about this woman, and I just I couldn't believe that
I,
someone would be in a public restroom with not only their feet on the ground but also their hands.
and it,
And it's an interesting mental image, and I'm sure it was an even more interesting real life image to be seeing with your eyes.
scarring. But I remember the day that because it happened, and then I told you the story like a few months afterwards.
Right when I started
And
working there.
and that night she came in, and you were slicing meat. You were slicing for some customer. You were slicing some deli
Mm-hmm.
meat, and I saw her like past past you, and
Her ghost.
I was like, I just looked at you, and I said, "Silverback," and you were like, "What?" Like your eyes lit up like I told you Santa was coming early, and and you finished with your customer and you turned around and you almost died. You were laughing so hard because not only is she exactly the person you imagine her to be, but
Right. She
she's
doesn't look
mean.
like she should be able to get down on her hands and feet.
She can, man. That's her pooping stance. Who needs a squatty potty when you could just put your knuckles on the ground and get knuckle deep in the bathroom floor?
Hey, that's the name of the podcast. Could get knuckle deep in a nasty public
That's true.
rural grocery store bathroom.
There's nothing better.
Some of our other escapades here at M Town Grocery. Well, before we continue, I want to point out that just like in lots of situations, not every customer is bad. There's lots of completely lovely, polite, nice people that come into the store.
Absolutely. There
They're
are,
sweethearts that come into the store and
I'd
they
even
make our
say
days.
that it's really a large majority of people are tolerable or
Yeah,
super awesome. And then there are
nice.
those rotten Scrooges that come in and just,
Speaking of, speaking
yeah,
of these rotten Scrooges,
right.
we're gonna tell the story now of how I almost lost my job. I almost lost my job. So it's just a regular day, but it's also, well, I should say it's a Friday because on Fridays in the deli here at M Town Grocery, which is not real, um, we fry fish. It's Fish Fridays. We fry cod and whitefish.
Right.
Instead, not instead of, but usually it's full of chicken. But on Fridays it's full of fish with chicken. But um, so there's this nice lady, nice young blonde lady who I'm helping. She wants fish. She wants cod, and there's not a lot of cod left.
Right. So she's standing like
It's
in front of the hot case where the
yeah,
fish is, and you're behind it, and you're helping this customer. We're about to close. We're about to like take all the food out, put it
right.
away,
Yeah,
and I'm cleaning. I am
yeah.
not available to customers. I made that very clear because I was literally elbow deep in dishwater.
On the other side of the room.
Right.
Yeah. But this lady was super polite. She was super nice. She asked nicely. I responded nicely and got her cod. And in the middle of our interaction, a large and in charge woman came in who is a regular customer who has wreaked havoc on our store multiple times
Many
before.
times.
She comes in. I am mid conversation with this nice lady, a nice young lady, and she goes, "You got any cod? You got any cod?" I said, "Well, I can help you next. You just gotta wait a little bit." And so I helped this lady, and she's nice. And this woman is standing not up at the hot case where everyone orders. She's
Like
standing about
8 feet
15 or
back.
20 feet
Right,
back.
seriously. It is. She only yelled because of her absurd distance from us.
Distance from, yeah. And she's yelling, and I think I told Braden, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I
So I
can't
was
do
like,
this.
well, while that was happening, I stopped doing dishes because I know your limit, and I knew that I was gonna have to take this over.
Yeah,
So I went
and
up there.
yeah, he went up there and he started helping her, but she
I
didn't come closer.
I no, but I did start. I started like every time, even though she interrupted you like 17 times. Have any cod? Do you have any cod? And I'm like, the whole time, I'm literally like, I'm boiling by the time I get up there.
Yeah.
And I go, while she's mid, do you have any cod? I go, what can I get for you, ma'am? And she is literally so far away, I can barely hear her. She starts talking in a normal tone. And
For
she's
some
like,
reason.
"Do you have any codfish?" And I said, "Well, we just have a little bit left, and we got some whitefish left. We were about to take it down." And she goes, "Well, can you fry me up some cod?" I was like, "Well, we did take the fryers down already. It's for about an hour and a half now.
Yeah,
It
they've
wouldn't
just
make much
not been
sense."
on. And so Braden tells her that the fryers are down, and she starts getting rather unhappy, which I guess most people would when you find out you can't get the thing you want from the grocery store. But she's still 20 feet away. And now she's not just yelling because she's far away, she's getting angry. And so
Very mad. She's very
I
upset.
I am at the table. I forgot about this very nice detail. This woman usually comes in with a nuclear level rebreather on her
Like there
face.
are 7 respirators
There's
on her
huge
mask.
respirators. Like, it's so unnecessary. And today, she has a t-shirt hanging from her face.
Yeah.
And it is so not useful as a
But
mask.
I'm gonna help you visualize this. It's the middle of summer. She's wearing like, there's like grandma weekend shorts. Like there's like sweatpants and like super short for no reason.
But they go all the way up to like your shoulders.
Right. Like your shoulder blades are at the belt line.
Yeah.
And she's also wearing like this big t-shirt, but then she also has another t-shirt around her neck. And she's using like the neck of the other t-shirt, and she has it over her nose. Like she pulls it up when she's talking, but every time she yells, she pulls it down.
Right.
Yells.
Which is so pointless.
And it
And
defeats the purpose of the t-shirt neck mask.
one thing about the dynamic of Braden and I's friendship is I have such a low threshold for people, and Braden has such a very high threshold of people.
You
he
can
can
literally
deal
punch
with.
me in the face and I'll go thank you.
Yeah, and I will. Yeah, I was fuming. Fuming is not even a powerful enough word for how angry I was. So this woman is yelling at Braden, pulling her mask down, which I guess doesn't matter because she's standing 20
Yeah.
feet away.
Yeah.
And I go, not even really like loudly or angry. I go, there's no need to yell. To which she screams at me, I'm not yelling. I'm a gym teacher. Yeah, you'd know if I was yelling. You could hear me from down the street.
Yeah, you could hear me in a different town.
And I just, I couldn't. And then she called me a smart ass.
Yeah.
And
She's like, there's no need to be a smart ass. And then I was like, all right. And I said, there's no need to cuss.
yeah,
Can I get anything for you?
right.
And she goes, I don't want anything. And then she leaves. She leaves the deli. She goes to check out. And we're a close group that works there. So our friends are working at the registers. And she's complaining to them about us and saying,
More specifically about me.
yeah. And I forget exactly what she said, but she said that you should have been raised differently, or
Yeah, that I was just like a hoodlum, a
yeah.
garbage baby that was just the worst type of person. Even though she came in with a t-shirt, I say again, a t-shirt around her face, she pulled it down to speak, which completely eliminates the purpose of that t-shirt around her face. She has caused havoc in our store before, but I probably could have handled the situation a little better, but it was a little much. She was a little much. I don't think I deserve to get called a smart ass,
Just for asking her to stop screaming.
right. About
But
fish.
also at that point, she actually came up to the hot case and she was actually talking.
Yeah. Now that I asked her to be quiet,
she started yelling. And then she started yelling.
yeah.
When she's 2 feet away from us.
And I just can't imagine why she felt the need to tell us that she used to be a gym teacher, like we couldn't already tell.
She definitely ruined children's lives. And
100%.
Immediately, she is anti-Santa.
Anti-Santa, Krampus with a t-shirt mask. Now that we have told our stories of our incredible and obviously riveting escapades at M-Town Grocery,
Clearly,
we're gonna move on to some of our craziest fast food and restaurant experiences. Now, a long time ago, I can't remember how old I was. I was definitely before high school, so maybe 12 or 13, 7th or 8th grade. My family used to go to Red Lobster every Father's Day because my dad loves seafood and therefore Red Lobster. And so we go there, we get in the car. It's nice. We all dress rather nice because it's Father's Day. I love my dad. Everyone in my family loves my dad, and Red Lobster's pretty good. Those Cheddar Bay biscuits hit so hard.
Holy God.
I love Cheddar Bay biscuits. I could just go to Red Lobster and eat those.
You know, they sell them at the store like a pack, like you can make them at home.
And yeah, we've had them with homemade dinners.
I want my birthday cake to be made out of that.
It's just one. No, you dump the batter in a rice cooker, and it comes out as one huge, thick Cheddar Bay biscuit with a candle in it. Anyway, so we park. We're ready to go in. We walk in. I'm mesmerized because there's live lobsters in the tank because it's Red Lobster. It's in the name. And we hear a commotion. We hear a commotion on not the opposite side of the building, but kind of close to us. There is a fight breaking out. Someone gets a glass thrown at their face.
Sorry, like a physical fight?
Yes, an actual
of the Red Lobster.
Physical fight at Red Lobster. As you do when you are a high-functioning, normal-thinking human, you start fights at Red Lobster. Anyway, so we're there, and this woman gets taken out, or someone walks this woman out who just got a glass thrown at her with a bloody towel held up to her face. This woman, I guess, freaked out because her lobster wasn't lobby enough. I don't know. I can't imagine why you wouldn't feel the need to fight someone at Red Lobster. But
she's probably a snakester.
Definitely a snakester. She loves snakes. I can guarantee it. I don't know that for a fact, but probably loves snakes.
She loves snakes. She loves snakes.
So we just that happened, and then we have Red Lobster, and we sit down and eat at Red Lobster, which you'd think would be the end of the story until a few months later. I think maybe this was earlier than 7th or 8th grade because I was still taking bass lessons. I was still taking bass guitar lessons. And so my mom takes me, and she has to sit outside because my lessons aren't very long, 30 or 40 minutes, and then I'm done. And she's talking to this lady whose child is also taking lessons in a different room. Come to find out, this lady that my mom is talking to at the place where I take lessons is the the sister of the woman who got a glass thrown at her face.
Did like a employee throw the
No, a
glass at her
customer
face?
threw the glass at an employee, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was a fight between a customer and a waitress, I believe. And but my
Obviously.
right. But so my mom, I don't know how it came up in conversation, but my mom ends up telling this woman, "Oh my gosh, I was there for that. We saw that happen." And my mom and I go to court. We go to court and testify that we saw this woman unrightfully get pelted with a
No way.
glass and walked out of Red Lobster with a bloody towel on her face. It was quite the thing. I couldn't believe that this is happening. And the whole car ride home, she was like, "Guess what? Guess who I just talked to during your lesson?" And I was like, "Mom, I couldn't even begin to imagine." And the lady, the sister of Red Lobster lady who got her face broken by a glass.
Red Lobster
Yeah,
lady.
so it was
See,
interesting.
here's the thing. If you go to the seafood Applebee's is essentially what Red Lobster is.
Definitely. That's a perfect analogy.
And you decide that you don't like your lobster isn't lobby enough. And you want to physically assault someone, you are a snakester.
You are a snakester. And also don't
do that.
Don't physically assault someone. The lobby's not worth it.
Seriously. And also if you're the kind of person that thinks that problems are solved by punching faces, you're wrong. You're always wrong. I have a few stories, and they range from different times. But this one is real. It's a family classic story that is told every summer because we go on vacation with like a bunch of families. So this was like 2 or 3 summers ago. Actually, we went to Universal Studios and we were on the way home. It's like a 12-hour drive. And we go with this other family. I was riding with them because they have tons of space in the car. And we were taking our truck, so there's not a lot of space. So I was riding with them. We make our first stop. Like we leave at like 5 in the morning, and then we get to a Chick-fil-A at like 9, and we're gonna get breakfast. So I wake up, and we're in a Chick-fil-A parking lot, and I'm like, cool. So I walk over to my parents' car, and I'm like, hey, this is what I want, blah blah blah. We figure out what we want, and then we go in and order. So we order our food. And then I go back in the car and I'm just waiting. I'm super tired, super exhausted.
Right.
And I'm just talking to the other family that I'm riding with. And then I see my mom. Like I'm looking through the side mirror on my side. And I see my mom walk out with this. I've never seen a Chick-fil-A bag this big. It was literally huge. It was like a paper grocery bag filled with Chick-fil-A food. I think it was for all of us, maybe.
Jeez.
And she's walking and it starts tearing down the middle.
No. Oh no.
And she's like
Running
now, and she's like, help. And there's like utensils and like stuff is almost about to spill out. So she's on edge. She finally gets to the car and we sort out whose food is
she didn't drop anything?
She didn't.
Oh, thank God.
But it was seriously hilarious watching her walk back.
Right. Because you can't walk normally when you're holding a bag that big.
Of losing all of your precious Chick-fil-A food.
Right. That you just paid lots of money for. Right. Chick-fil-A is not cheap.
So she gets in the car. We sort out our food and she sits down. And she just goes, where's my phone? And my dad's like, I don't know.
How would I know where your phone is?
She's like, I think I left my phone in the Chick-fil-A. Like, we haven't left the parking lot yet. So she tells my dad to start looking everywhere that she's been, the car, essentially.
Right. Right. Just
my dad's looking through the car to find the phone. Before he even starts his search, my mom storms inside immediately. And she walks up to the counter. And like, she is literally on edge. We've been in the car for so long. She almost spilled her food because they gave us a torn bag. And she goes,
right.
Where's my phone? I lost my phone. Did you find a phone? And there's this like old Chick-fil-A lady, they're super nice. She goes, ma'am, you cannot use our phone. And she goes, I don't want to use your phone. I left my phone in here. Did you find a phone? And so my dad comes in He's like, I don't see it. I don't see it. And then she's like, go check in the bathroom. So
she told your dad to go check the women's bathroom?
Yes. Which obviously there's some problems there.
Right. That can't happen.
And my dad just goes back out to the car. And this
Because
whole time,
he can't go in the women's bathroom.
Yeah. Where's my phone? And this lady's like, ma'am, you can't use our phone.
Oh my God.
And my mom's like, I lost my phone. Did you find a phone? And she's like, she's getting angry now because this lady is not understanding her.
Right.
And cannot find her phone, which when you are traveling and you lose something like a phone or something important to you,
yeah,
you turn into a different person for a little bit.
It needs to be found now.
And she's in there for like 10 minutes with this lady.
Jeez.
And then she's talking to the customers. There's like a huge line. It's Chick-fil-A. It's always busy. She goes, did anyone find a phone? Has anyone seen my phone? And everyone's like, what are you talking about?
Right. No.
And then my dad comes back after causing all this commotion inside of the Chick-fil-A. He walks back in he checks the truck. He walks into the Chick-fil-A. I found your phone.
Oh man. Oh geez. Oh no.
My mom I think she would just shut down for the rest of the day.
Where was it? Where was the phone?
In the truck the whole time.
In the truck?
Yes.
What the heck?
It was in her seat.
I'm sure she was furious at your dad.
And so, like, I didn't hear this. I wasn't there for all of this. I was in the car munching down on my Chick-fil-A breakfast.
Right. Inhaling.
The dad of obviously inhaling immediate consumption. But the dad of the family I was riding with comes back and he goes, Braden, you have no idea how much I love your mom. And I'm like, what happened? He goes, she walks in. And she's yelling at this old lady about where's my phone? I lost my phone. Can you find my phone? And this lady for 10 minutes is telling your mom that she cannot use the store's phone.
It's such a dumb question that no one has ever asked that old lady.
Imagine going into McDonald's and be like, hey, I need to call my dad. Can I borrow your phone?
Like, we don't have a phone. It's not the 90s, dude. There's no company phone.
But it was... And I just remember it was literally the perfect ending to this vacation. This was like the best vacation ever. Yeah. I love going on vacation with my family. Yeah. But my mom is just the most
quite the character.
She's a character, yeah.
Your mom's great. I love
Actually,
your mom.
Today's her birthday, so shout out to
Happy
Mama.
birthday. Happy birthday, Braden's mom.
But she's ridiculous. That's the word I was looking for. But she always has a way of turning a normal day into some kind of family story that is brought up every Christmas. Every time we're all together, she does something so dramatic and hilarious that you can't... I mean, it's like if we had a reality TV show, I think we'd be millionaires. Seriously.
Yeah. I love your mom. She's great. Do you have any other? Well, actually, I could go into detail about every single time that we go to McDonald's and they pretty much get our order wrong every time. And I
don't know how they do it so consistently.
Right. It's like they're taught to not do it right.
You want a Big
Mac? They want a bacon.
Here's a fish fillet.
Yeah. You want a 10-piece chicken nugget meal? Here is 36 quarter pounders. I went to Wendy's yesterday and ordered a Baconator, which does not sound like any of the other burgers on Wendy's menu. You know, like if you order a Baconator, they're not like, oh, a Dave's double? Sick. That's exactly what he just said with his mouth. No.
The Dave's triple is where it's at, by the way. But
I personally love the Baconator, and I ordered a Baconator, and I opened my bag and my burger wrapper, and it's just a cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, pickle, and onion on it. And I'm like, this is not what I ordered. And so I drive through and I'm like, I'm polite because it's the middle of the day. It's Wendy's. It's not like I have anyone's day to ruin. I'm just like, hey, I ordered a Baconator and didn't get one. And he's like, okay, just pull up the second window. And I got my Baconator. And then, so I was by myself I now have 2 burgers. I just gave the other one to a friend. And I was like, how did you how did I say Baconator and you thought anything else? It's not it doesn't sound like a Dave's anything.
And I do appreciate the people that work at these fast food chains.
Of course.
They are doing a selfless job. They are making mediocre food for people who want it in approximately 30 seconds after ordering.
Right. It's eerily similar to the deli at M-Town Grocery.
It really is.
Except for people don't check out at our deli,
Right.
which is nice. That would be terrible.
It
Actually,
would be,
maybe it wouldn't. Maybe people
I
would
don't
treat
know.
us nicely if we
if we were taking their money.
right. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to talk about Ryan's Buffet? This is a story I've never heard before. I'm excited.
There's a I don't even know where to start.
That means it's going to be
I'm
good.
on this football team. This is like when I'm in grade school. I'm on this football team, and we're super good. I played a little bit. And we are taking, like, our coaches were super ambitious. So, like, we're going to go to this tournament in Kentucky, and we're going to play teams of the same age group. They're literally from a 3-state area.
Right.
It's these teams you pretty much buy in. So you're paying for this trip. It's not like you're selected,
Right.
but you say, I'm good enough. We can go do that. And so we're on the bus ride, and our quarterback, his name's Dashel. And
is that actually his name?
yeah, pretty cool name.
Dashel?
Yeah.
Is that his last name?
First name.
That's an interesting first name. Continue.
And so me and him, like, there's a game called Crossy Road. It just came out when we.
Oh, I love that game.
Such a good
it was
game.
so addicting.
But we played that the whole, like, 3.5-hour ride down to Kentucky.
Right.
And we get really close. Like, we haven't really talked too much before that. We've been on the team for a few years together, but we never really, there wasn't that much like one-on-one time.
Uh-huh.
And then we watched, like, some movies and stuff. It was super fun.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we got a big team, so we're all splitting up. There's like 4, 5, or 6 kids in a room. Like, there's 2 beds and a pull out.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. And then there's either a coach or a parent in the room with us. And we had, like, one of our head coaches in our room with us, and it was me, and then, like, a few linemen, and then, because I was a lineman too, an offensive lineman, and we had our quarterback and our center, like, some pretty essential guys that you definitely need to play the game.
Right.
And there was, like, all these different games. So we go to Ryan's Buffet, which is like a Golden Corral. We go to this local one. It makes sense for the team. It's the cheapest, most food you can get. They want us to carb load and all that. So we get there, and this was my first time going to one of these kind of buffets. And as a little fat kid, it was seriously the most exciting experience I've ever had, because you can eat a full plate of food and you haven't even scratched the surface of what this place has to offer. So I was super excited, and I ate a lot. Well, I didn't even eat a lot. I just ate a variety of things. I was pretty happy about it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we're about to leave, and we're all sitting down talking. I'm on, like, my 4th Mountain Dew or Pepsi, I don't know. And my stomach is not happy. It is bubbling. Like, it's like bubbling. Witch's brew. Someone has put something inside of me that obviously wants to leave very quickly.
Right.
So I go to the bathroom, and I obviously I think it's a poop situation. So I'm sitting down, and I am not feeling good. And the whole team's, like, literally waiting on me. My parents are there too, and they're waiting for me. And they say, you know what, you guys head back to the hotel. And my parents stay back because they rode separately.
Right.
So I stand up. No poop action is happening. And
That's
I still feel
worst.
horrible. I still feel horrible. And then I'm like, all right, I'm fine. And I go to wash my hands. I'm about to leave. And then I'm like, I gotta vomit. I have to throw up immediately.
This is a lot of people don't like talking about vomit. I did not know this would turn into a vomit story. Trigger warning, he's going to keep talking about vomit.
So the stall that I was in, it was the cleanest one. There's a guy in there blowing it up. I can hear it. So I have to go to this other one. And this one is already covered in vomit. Like I'm like,
Really?
yes, the whole toilet, the floor, the handle to the toilet. And just seeing that immediately, I just started vomiting, like projectile vomiting into the toilet. And
That
I'm in
is
like 5th grade. And this
so
is,
horrible.
yeah. And I think it had to be food poisoning or something. It was the worst. It was the worst experience I've ever had
Yeah.
eating. That is not even close to the end of the story.
Oh my gosh.
So we go back
Oh
to the
man.
hotel. And they're like, you probably just ate something bad. Like I didn't have a fever or anything.
Right.
So that night was super fun. Like our coaches go and hang out by themselves, and it's just like the guys in the room,
Right.
and like we're prank calling McDonald's, Star 67. We're like,
Right.
uh, prank calling Wendy's, all these places, and then we finally go to bed. It was like 11. We're like, wow, it's so late. We need to go to bed. And I lay down, and I'm sleeping with like you're sharing a bed with your teammate.
Right.
So I'm sleeping with the quarterback, who he's our only quarterback. Like we don't have a backup. It's a little league team. That's ridiculous.
Right. That's not a realistic thing that you
Yeah.
need.
And
Oh
I
man.
wake up in the middle of the night, and I like it's my first night sleeping away from my house. So I'm like, I wake up like in the mindset I'm by myself, all this, and I lean over and I throw up on the quarterback. I threw up on Dashel. I threw up on his just his whole body. And then I go into the bathroom and I throw up on the floor.
That's just awful, man.
And I throw up in the toilet. And I throw up in the sink.
Oh my God. Stop
And so
throwing up.
it's like in the middle of the night. So my coach, he's got his own bed in the room, and he comes over and he's like, what, are you okay?
You're like, no.
I was like, not at all. And it was like super early in the morning. So he calls my parents and he gives me a Gatorade. He said, this will help you. And I had to watch him begin to, and Dashiell woke up covered in vomit, and I felt
Vomit.
so bad. I was just like, I'm so sorry. Bye. And my coach starts cleaning up this vomit. There's no way he liked me after this.
Right.
And my mom comes to the door, and I go there. And this is the day of the tournament. We have like 3 games if we win them all.
Right.
And so we're playing. They leave. I'm sick. Like I have food poison or something. I'm just
Right.
in my parents' room, and they say, you know what? Get your pads on. Get ready. We're going to see how you feel. And so I'm warming up, and I'm like just trying to stretch, get ready in case I had to play.
Right.
And while I'm stretching, I threw up all the Gatorade and whatever I ate like soup that morning to help. I threw it all up I'm wearing a football helmet, and my mouth guard's hanging from it. I threw up on all of that. And that's when I realized, you know what? It's not worth it.
Right. Just sit it out, man.
I'm just going to watch these games.
Right.
And we ended up getting like second place in the tournament. I got a trophy for vomiting on the quarterback. But
right.
Moral of that story is don't go eat at a buffet.
Right. You're just eating everyone else's hands. They're just touching everything.
Don't sleep with the quarterback.
Don't sleep with the quarterback. Words to live by. Oh, man. That was quite an interesting, riveting story. Probably should have started with this is going to be about a lot of vomit. A lot of vomit.
Disclaimer, and I could have been a little more specific too, but I wasn't.
Well, that's nice.
But I threw up a lot.
Consider yourself lucky if you don't like vomit, because Braden could have said way worser stuff. I'm just kidding. I don't actually use the word worser. Just a disclaimer, I'm not actually that dumb. I know it's not worser. Anyway.
So a regular segment we would like to start talking about different categories too is a tier segment. It's where we're going to rate the things within this category. Today we're doing chips. And what's going to happen is we're going to rate them 1 to 100. We each are going to give our take, give our rating, and then at the end, we'll be able to see our collective favorite and least favorite chips.
Yeah, and of course we're doing chips because we're both obviously chip advocates.
Oh my God. If chips are the most addicting food on the planet, you can't start a bag of chips and not want to see the bottom.
Well, I think a lot of people can do that. We just can't.
That's might be true.
Anyway,
So first of all, we're going to start off with Cheetos. There's two types of Cheetos. All right. There's the crunchy ones, and then there's the Cheeto Puffs. We're going to start with the crunchy, and I'll start.
okay.
Cheetos Crunchy, 52. I do not like these. Um, they have like a different cheese powder than the Cheeto Puffs do. They're not as see when you're eating the Cheeto Puffs, you're like, I can snack on these. I'm like eating air. But when you're eating
Right.
these, you're like, these are dehydrated chicken bones that have been tossed in some horrible cheesy powderiness. And I don't like it. I don't like them.
I also don't like crunchy Cheetos. However, I definitely don't dislike them as much as you clearly do. I would give them probably a 70 because they I would never ever go to a grocery store and pick out regular Cheetos and be like, this is what I want. This is what I came here for, and this is what I'm going to have. The only time I ever eat Cheetos and enjoy them is when I'm at my house. It is 1 a.m. and I'm like, I want chips. What do we have?
It's the
Cheetos?
only
Fine.
thing left. Like if you get
Fine.
the mini bags, like the lunch bags, and you get like
Yeah.
a big pack,
Yeah.
Cheetos Crunchy will always be the last ones. And
Right.
I'd rather feed them to a donkey than eat them myself.
Right.
But I
So
will
yeah.
eat them.
Yeah,
But I
I
don't like
will
them
eat them too.
because I
And
eat anything.
if I had to give the Puffs a rating, I would give them like a 72. I don't really think they're that much better.
Cheeto Puffs are like my favorite chip, and Aldi's has their own, which are even better than the Cheeto Puff version. I'm not joking. They are literally better. I'm
No.
going to give them a 92.
Oh
I'm
my
talking about Cheeto
gosh.
Puffs. These are my favorite, probably my favorite chips. They are so good. They have a different cheese powder. They're like I said, it's like eating air. It's like 0 cal, and they're so much better.
Except for they're not.
Yeah, they're a lot.
A lot of cal. I can't believe that. I can't believe you just love Cheeto Puffs. Whatever.
They're so good.
Whatever.
They're
No,
so good.
they're not. Anyway, our second chip here is Cool Ranch Doritos, and I'm gonna start on this one because Cool Ranch Doritos is an easy 99 out of 100. The only reason it's not 100 is because sometimes when you're eating them, they turn into even smaller, sharper Doritos, and then they poke your gums, and it hurts. And you're like, "Ow, that hurt!" But I can get over it because this taste is immaculate.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I wouldn't put them at a 99 because they there are other Doritos that I like
Oh yeah,
um,
for sure.
more, but they are definitely like they're definitely great, and they are
Yeah,
like my childhood chip. Like I would eat a bologna
yeah.
sandwich and a bag of these.
Oh my gosh, I think maybe we had the same childhood
I think
because
we
that
might
is
be the same person.
completely that was mine as well. They're so good.
I would give them an 80
An 80,
even. 80
understandable.
even.
80 even.
They're not
All right,
bad, but they're not the best.
right.
Ruffles, cheddar and sour cream. So these aren't the regular Ruffles. These are the ones with a little bit of cheesy, creamy goodness.
Yes. You want to take this one? You want to start off with the cheddar and sour cream?
These were an acquired taste for me because I didn't like them at first. I definitely like. I didn't like. I really didn't like regular potato chips. So if I saw Ruffles, I was like, boring. I don't want you. But then I had a bag. I had the baked ones first. I think they're
Mm,
not. It's like eating. They're not bad, but it's like eating note cards covered in cheese.
right.
But these are good. These are
Yeah.
really good. And one thing I learned, if you any kind of like those dips, like chip dips, this is the chip you should choose.
Yeah.
It's cheesy. It's so good. So good.
Yeah. So what are you
I'd
rating
probably
it?
give them 85.
Really? Better
Yeah.
than Cool Ranch Doritos?
Yeah.
Interesting. I would give it probably an 85 too because they're really good. At at some point when you start eating them, if you don't have something to drink, it's like you're suffocating. But
True.
that's why it's not higher than an 85, but they are awesome. I love Ruffles cheddar and sour cream.
They're pretty good. They're great.
Yeah. Now, I think this next one is probably going to split some hairs. We have Lay's barbecue chips. Now, like Braden said before, his childhood was Cool Ranch Doritos and bologna sandwiches. My childhood also included Cool Ranch Doritos, but man, did I inhale Lay's barbecue chips. I loved those chips when I was younger. They were everything to me. I love
Like
Lay's barbecue.
everything, like a family member level of love.
Maybe. You know, well, I was a kid, you know, I was like, these chips make me happy. That's all they need to do.
That's true.
I love them. But I have been on and off with these chips. Sometimes they are the most revolting thing on the shelf. I would rather inhale a bag of Cheetos before barbecue sometimes. But sometimes I'm like, there is nothing else I want in this world more than some Lay's barbecue chips.
I definitely agree with that. They're definitely, you have to be in the right mood for these chips.
Right.
There are times when you see this bag, it's just this black bag. I'm like, what? It just says barbecue and it's just got chips on it. Like,
right.
Get away from me. I see the Cheeto Puffs in the corner of my eye. I'm going
going for the Cheeto Puffs. I think I would rate Lay's barbecue at a 62, a passing grade, but they haven't been good forever.
I would give them, because there are, in my opinion, there's better barbecue chips that aren't Lay's barbecue.
Definitely, that aren't Lay's.
And like, oh my God, those kettle barbecue chips, those
infinitely better.
Those are so. This is a 40.
40.
Yeah.
Fair. Kind of doo-doo, but also sometimes good.
Could be better.
Right.
All right. Well, next one is Pringles sour cream and onion.
I didn't even know Pringles were considered chips.
I mean, duh. It's because they come in a cylindric can. That's not the right word.
I think it is.
Okay. I love Pringles. I like the normal ones the best. I don't like sour cream and onion too much. It's not my, like, Lay's has one too. They're not my favorite.
Right.
But I would eat these if I had no other option, but I'm giving them a 12.
A 12? Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the real question. Pringles, sour cream and onion, and crunchy Cheetos. Only two things on the shelf. Which one are you going for?
Normal Cheetos, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I don't know that I've ever had the sour cream and onion Pringles. Sour cream and onion is not a flavor that you can eat a lot of chips of. And I feel like if I eat sour cream and onion chips, they're nice for a little bit. And then you're like, why am I just eating chip onion? Chunion. Why am I just eating chunion? This is stupid. I want something else in my mouth. So I'm also probably going to rate them like a 20.
Okay. And I completely agree with that. Get rid of this flavor. Replace it with something cool like burger.
Anything else? Yeah, burger. Yeah, burger flavored. The next one is the good old.
Real quick, there are Baconator Pringles.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to have those before I die.
I've tried them. They're all right.
They
do taste a lot like a Baconator, though.
Good, all right. Good. So our next chip is your good old regular classic Lay's. If I could describe this in one phrase, it is too much damn salt. I get it. They're supposed to be salty potato chips. I understand. I'm not going to dog them for having salt. But come on, man. If I wanted salt, I would eat an entire thing of olives. It's not. They're good. I can eat lots of them. There's never enough in the bag. It's always a quarter of the way full.
Too much salt, but they're good. I'll eat a lot of them.
That's how I am with like any chips. There's too much salt, but I'll eat them. And there's never enough chip to bag ratio. I understand that they have to have air to protect the chip.
I don't care if the chips are dust. Give me more chips in a bag.
Right, for real. And that much air is not necessary. You can put more chips in there. You just choose not to. Lay's. What the heck? I'm just kidding, but not really. I don't.
Screw you, Lays.
I'm rating these a 30.
Oh,
But that's not without recognizing that they are the original chip. Not the original chip, but they're one of the originals. They paved the way for future chips. I can appreciate that, which is why they're not getting a 0.
I love these chips.
Oh my god. Of course.
I really do. And I didn't, I'm a flavor guy. I want some extra something special about the chips. Like I said, it's a mature taste.
Oh my gosh. So I'm immature, Braden. Is that what
You
you're
are
saying?
a toddler when it comes to Lay's. These chips are so good. They are the perfect snack. They are great with a sandwich. They're great with a pulled pork sandwich. Like, if I get a side of just normal potato chips, I'm not going to be upset.
Fries are way better.
Lay's. Obviously, but when it comes to chips, these are good. I'm giving them an 89.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How are you giving them an 89? That is ridiculous.
No,
that is
not
ridiculous. How could you do that?
There are people out there that see this yellow bag and it just says classic, and you're like, that's my jam.
I don't think we can make a second episode.
That's fine.
I think we're done.
All right. Lay's sour cream and onion, 12.
12? Yeah. It's the same as the Pringles, because I haven't had the Pringles. So during the Pringles, I was just talking about Lay's sour cream and onion. You eat them and you're like, that first chip was good. Let's have another one. And you're like, that one was good. And then you're like 30 chips and you're like, why am I still eating these?
Yeah.
This is just punishment for something I didn't do.
Seriously, just the lamest chip. My grandma loved these. She would buy just like the family size bag, and this was the only snack she had in her house.
Yeah.
So when I'll go over there, this was my option. This or Braunschweiger, which is liver paste, pretty much.
It's so gross. Braunschweiger is so nasty. But yeah.
Screw you, sour cream and onion Lay's.
I'd give them a 6.
A 6
out of 100. Now, this is where it's going to get good, because every normal person watching this show is going to agree with me, and no one is going to agree with you. You ready? This chip is Sun Chips Harvest Cheddar. The cheddar Sun Chips, the cheese Sun Chips, the good old Looney Flu. I love these goddamn chips. They are so good. The waves in them are just the perfect size. They crunch so nicely. They go so well with almost any soda. So if you're on a road trip, you can get a bag of them and any soda. Then you get both flavors. They're both good. They don't interrupt each other. The amount of cheese is not too much. It's not too little. It's almost perfect every time. I give these chips a 100. I didn't think I'd be giving any chip a 100. And I'm giving the Sun Chips Cheddar a 100. You're just wrong.
I don't care if this is an unpopular opinion. Sun Chips Garden Salsa are 25,000 million% way better than these.
No, they're good. They're good. They're not better.
These freaking cheddar chips, every time I eat them, I'm like, this kind of tastes like I just took a bale of hay and took a bite out of it. And then someone who recently ate cheese, like I'm smelling their breath at the same time. These chips suck.
That's so not true. The other Sun Chips are really good. Like the tomato ones, I think is maybe the same as the garden salsa. Yeah, they're really good.
Way better. I would because all the chips taste like it. About 1 out of 3,000 of the Sun Chips cheddar chips actually taste like cheddar.
No, it's just not true. I can't believe you. And I would give the garden salsa somewhere in the 90s. They are not far behind the cheddar. They're super good.
These get a 4.
You are ridiculous. They get a lower score than sour cream and onion.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather eat sour cream and onion or Cheetos than these. Seriously.
You're completely ridiculous. Okay, you have the next one.
Next one's Pringles Original. So good. I like just the classic potato chip, salted. Obviously, they're different because it's like they like blend up the potatoes and get them wet, and then they fry them. Because it's a different kind of chip.
Right.
But they are so good. Perfect to snack on. And what's dangerous about Pringles is you can open that can and you can grab 6 of them at a time and
Yeah.
just shove them in your pie hole. And
Yeah.
it doesn't feel wrong.
It doesn't feel wrong. Feels
It doesn't
right.
feel wrong at all.
It feels very right. Is actually how is what happens. I would give these chips a 90. I'd give them a 90. I'd give them a 95. I give them a 95.
I would agree. I'm gonna give them a 90.
Yeah, they're super good. You can eat so many. I think that's one of the things that gets lost with regular potato chips is you bite them and they turn into obviously like pieces because you just bit into a chip.
These turn
But
into
Pringles,
nothing.
yeah, then they just leave a good taste and they're
Yeah.
awesome. I love Pringles.
It's a better potatoey flavor. Like there's
Right.
not as salty too.
Yeah.
So good.
I hate
So
you
good.
for not liking cheddar sun chips, but Pringles
I
are
don't
good.
care.
And here are, I think, my favorite chips ever. We have the purple bag Doritos, the spicy sweet chili. I'm going to give these
My
chips
God.
a 106 out of 100.
I'm giving them a 300.
They got extra credit because it's the perfect spicy chip because it's not that spicy. You can eat the whole bag, feel like you eat spicy food, and then not want to die.
And they're like, whoever made these, I'm going to call him Bruce. Good job, Bruce.
Bruce, you did such a good job.
Outdone your job yourself.
We love Bruce for making these awesome chips. Another chip that I'm sure isn't on here. You know what? Here, we'll get to that chip in a second. I want to hear what you rate. Your official rating of these is
perfect.
100.
300.
Oh, 300 out of 100?
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets extra credit from both of us. But the last chip I wanted to bring up that I wanted to know your opinion on is kind of not on the same level as these for me, but it's on the same satisfaction of being a hot chip, is the jalapeno cheddar Cheetos.
Okay.
What do you think?
They're amazing.
They're amazing? Mm-hmm. I love them. I think they're so good. I can't believe that Cheetos doesn't just make that their main chip.
For real. Because the normal crunchy, stupid fish teeth.
Yeah, stupid dumb chicken bone powder blasted cheese sticks.
Yeah, I freaking hate those things. They suck. They suck so bad. If Cheetos was like, you know what? We're going to cancel out the whole chicken bone cheese thing. We're just going to give you some chicken bones with actual good flavoring on them.
Right.
And that's what they should do.
Yeah. I'm glad you agree. I was worried you wouldn't. I just can't believe that Cheetos makes the regular crunchy Cheetos, also makes those, and then they don't sell them more than the regular ones. And the Flamin' Hot are pretty good too, but I'm also just a little child, and too many of them is just annoying because the pain does not outweigh the goodness.
Also, for these, the Aldi's one is even better.
For the Doritos or the
Cheetos, jalapeno, and cheddar.
Really? I've never had them because I don't shop at Aldi.
So good. But what would you rate them? What would you rate the jalapeno cheddar Cheetos?
The jalapeno cheddar? Probably 100 or 99, just because I don't get sick of them, and they don't have like a negative effect when you eat them. Like they don't poke your gums or anything.
Right. I'm gonna give them a 189.
A 189?
I mean, an 89.
I was like, wow, you really like them, huh? That was a high score.
So looking back at all the chips and our ratings, if we combine our scores, we can see their collective score.
Clearly, the winner is the spicy sweet chili Doritos.
Purple bag Doritos, 406.
Mm-hmm.
So perfect, so great. But there's some bottom tier ones here.
Of course.
Lay's sour cream, 18. Combined score of 18.
They need to be burned.
Pringles sour cream, combined score of 32.
They can just be burned because they're the same flavor as the Lay's.
Next time that sour cream and onion want to be involved with each other, don't.
Just don't. Shake hands, leave, go back home. No one wants you together.
From our chips.
Right.
I swear to God, if I see Doritos sour cream and onion, I'm never going to Doritos again.
Then we will be inciting violence. Yeah, and it will be on the Doritos factory.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that's all we got today.
That is the end of the official first episode of Knuckle Deep. I hope you
Yeah.
guys liked it. Braden and I had a blast. That was a really fun, good
fun.
first episode.
This is, like I said, we had a pilot, but this is really our first official
episode. It's longer. We had hopefully a little more structure than the pilot. I hope you all like it a little more.
But just stick around, give us a listen.
Right.
Follow us on Twitter. Again, we're going to start doing things on there. So if we get a good following, we can really do some fun stuff like polls, and you use a hashtag and you send us stuff. It will be hilarious.
It'll be incredible. And we hope to see you on the next episode of Knuckle Deep. I think we're planning on weekly episodes. We're going to try to record every Sunday and hopefully have it out by Wednesday.
Right.
Every week. So hopefully that's how that works.
Right. So we'll see you guys next time.
All right.